Well, hello. Hi. My name is Matias Barnes. I am an author. Why? Because I decided to be. Wow. Nutty. I wrote my first book, which is Warning, Maybe Habit Forming, Your Easy Step-by-Step 30-Day Positivity Transformation. And this is a great book. The title is a little bit cheesy, but I did that because I got to get this book into a lot of people's hands. But this book is actually pretty great. I start by giving you a little bit of an intro, a lay of the land, when you get into it. And so you've got, there's a table of contents. It's so pretty, yes. And, you get into the introduction. And I start telling you a little bit about how the book is laid out and what I'm going to tell you and how I'm going to tell you and all that stuff, right? And I give you kind of a overview. And you can read that for free on the website, warningmaybehabitforming.com. The intro's in there. I think there's a few pages beyond that as well. But in any case, after the intro, we get into chapter 1, and I just want to talk about chapter 1 a little bit today. And so there's chapter 1. You can see I've got this awesome Farmer's Almanac from 1802. I was able to reprint that. Oops, come on. There you go. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Anyways, this auto tracking is like deciding where it's going to go and stuff. But anyway, so I thought that was kind of cool, and I'm going to read you just the first little bit here, because I want you to hear it. I want you to know. I want you to read this book. You want you to read this book. February 1802, Othello Pollard, a very well-regarded free black restaurateur and caterer, pulls out all the stops to bring traffic to his shop, Attic Bower, on Tremont Street in Cambridge, Massachusetts. He sees to it that crowds in Boston are delighted to see an exotic big cat on display, the first leopard exhibited in the United States. And for only 25 cents admission, that's something like $7 in 2023. The crowds came from far and wide. Pollard, 1802. Almost, and I actually got that from an 1802 newspaper ad that Othello Pollard ran, because I was looking for something to grab your attention, something interesting, and this is really interesting. This guy actually, if you delve into it, his history a little further, Othello Pollard, that is, man, I could write a whole book about him. What a guy! This guy, I mean, he was a caterer. He was well known, throughout Massachusetts, and did special catering. He was awesome at mixing drinks. I mean, I could write a whole book about this guy, but I just used it as a hook. I just used it as a hook to get us going, because what we really want to talk about in this chapter, next, is Phineas Parkhurst Quimby. Phineas Parkhurst Quimby. What a cool name. Isn't that a cool name? Almost 73 miles northwest in Lebanon, New Hampshire, Susanna Quimby was thoroughly pregnant and just about ready to give birth. So the Othello Pollard is just a hook, and then we get into Susanna Quimby. That's Phineas Parkhurst Quimby's mom. Tells us a little bit about Phineas Parkhurst Quimby. This guy was a healer. He was a healer in the 1800s, and it's funny because he was educated. He was apprenticed into the trade of smithing, and so this guy, he was a silversmith, and he was a watchmaker, and he could make clocks and stuff like that. So he had a really good mechanical mind. He was a smart guy. And I don't know, maybe in his 30s or something, he came across this guy that was doing hypnotism, mesmerism, right? And he was like, wow, that's really crazy. How does that work? And so he started playing with it himself and experimenting. And he had this guy named Lucius Berkmar. This guy, it was just a kid, basically. But he could go into a trance. He would be easily mesmerized or hypnotized or whatever you want to say. He got into a trance state. And when he was under this trance state, he did all kinds of crazy stuff. I mean, Phineas would be like, tell me what's going on with this person's disease and whatever. But then eventually Phineas was like, nah, I don't believe that Lucius is actually seeing inside the body. I think that Lucius is just reading the minds of people nearby to come up with the, whatever he thought the diagnosis was. And anyways, you gotta read this book. I mean, this is really interesting stuff. I did a lot of work on research, and the reason I tell you about Phineas Parkhurst Quimby, Dr. Quimby, the reason I tell you about this is really simple. He's considered the father of New Thought, okay? And in this chapter, in this history chapter, I'm introducing you to some ideas. And what's really interesting to me is that when he was alive in the mid-1800s, Phineas Parkhurst Quimby was well regarded as a guy that could heal you. I mean, people wrote him all kinds of letters. He was in newspaper articles. Like, people who had hopeless cases would go to this guy and be like, hey, Dr. Quimby, help me out. And after he got done with Lucius and he was just healing people himself, he was said to just sit down and talk to these people. And they couldn't figure out how he healed them. But by the end of the conversation, they were healed. Crazy stuff. But listen, there's a lot more interesting stuff in the book. You can start reading it for free. Warning, maybe habitforming.com. Or get your copy on Amazon. It's so cheap. It's like $17 for a paperback, or you can get one like this for like 25 or something. It's super cheap. This book will change your life. It will. I've designed it to. I've designed it to change your life, because first I introduce you to some things and then I build on that, and I think that this book is going to blow up super hard. And I'm really happy about a couple of things. Number one, I'm really happy that no one told me what to do. I did this because I wanted to. I risked my own self, right? When I left my job in November, I got my 401k handed to me, like 20 cents of it or whatever was left after the market did its thing. And I said, man, what is the best way I can invest this? And the best investment was in me. So I paid my rent through the end of the lease. It's paid for this month. It's paid for next month. It's paid for the next month after that. And I did that so that I could focus. I did that so that I could write this book, so that I could pour myself into this endeavor. And I'm really happy about the fact that no one told me what to do. Nobody, right? I don't have an editor telling me to do something. I have a wife. Maybe that counts for something. Lisa she says she's the boss. But whatever the case is, I didn't have some editor telling me, oh no, take that part out. That's not cool. I own all the rights to this book. I do. Me, through G Blitz Creative, our company. Why? Because this book is going to blow up crazy. And I bought the ISBN numbers directly so that I can control this. I can contract with distributors. Once this thing blows up, it may not even be on Amazon anymore. I don't know. I don't know where it's going to go. But I'm going to tell you that it's going somewhere big. And you can get a copy and you can get on board. And learn something. Learn something about the way you've been self-sabotaging yourself this whole time. That's in chapter 4. Commands. I command you. I think I renamed it. Commands yourself or something like that. Let's see. Chapter 4. Take command. Okay, that's a better title. Good job, Matias. You came up with a better title. All right. Well, listen, I appreciate you. DM me what page you're on. Direct message me. And I appreciate you. And I can't wait to hear from all the people who are going to be like, wow, this changed my life, Matias. I've already started getting some early accolades from people. The early feedback on this book is amazing. It's a good book. I worked really hard on it. I'm a guy that works hard and does stuff the right way. Some of this stuff, I might not be doing it perfectly the right way because I'm just kind of making it up as I go. Like this video, right? I don't know how to market, but I am going to market. And the thing is, I only need to get this book into like maybe 10,000 hands before it reaches some critical mass. Because what I anticipate is that probably 1 in 10 people that read this book will be so enamored and so overfilled with joy that they won't be able to shut up about it. And for now, I get to play that person, you know, because I'm a one-man band. I got to play the drums, I got to play the guitar, everything. I'm a one-man band. But, you know, there's advantages to that too. Like, I can do whatever I want. Now, whatever I want, I don't know. Yesterday, I spent like the whole day on social media. That was insane. Click, 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 making videos, doing this, doing that, upload, upload, upload. I guess that's what you're supposed to do. Oh, good stuff. All right, well, DM me what page you're on. And other than that, I appreciate you and have an amazing day.